Oh. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Indigo Diamond here with another video here actually to talk about the latest episode of Drag Race UK Season 4. Before we get into the episode, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and tell me down below who are you rooting for. Joined once again by Jimbo and Dela because this is being filmed on the same day and honestly I don't know when I'll next get another one. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, they'll be my co-hosts for the meantime. They don't say anything, but hey, they look cute. So, this week's episode was the Makeover Challenge. We finally get another Makeover Challenge. We got one in Season 1, and then we missed 2, and now we've got one again. Obviously, the reason we would have missed it in Season 2 and 3 was because of COVID being like really, I mean, it's still about, but it's not as bad as it was back with Season 2 and 3, so they were able to do it this time. I will say, I mean, could they maybe not have just done what they did this time, last times maybe? Because who they made over this time was the Queen team. So the team that essentially looks after the queens, makes sure, like, helps with, like, doing up corsets and stuff like that. And just helps them generally with what they need. I thought this was a really good thing to do because I know like in the American season they've done like the camera crew and stuff like that. I think doing the Queen team is a very good thing to do because these are what like people that work really closely with the queens, and it's nice for them to be able to get something back from this. It was a good episode. There were a lot of good talks with between like the queens and the Queen team girls themselves. A fair few of them seemed to be part of the LGBTQ plus community, which was nice. And you know, some of them talked about the fact like how it was for them when like they came out and stuff like that. Dakota's partner mentioned the fact that she's quite a girly girl. So when she came out to her mum was really surprised. She was like, "But you know, you're such a girly girl, you know." And they had a conversation about the fact there's like, you know, yeah, if you don't fit that stereotype of what they imagine, well, what they see for like queer people, you know, and then suddenly you come out as like, yeah, but that's going to be a surprise because in their mind there's nothing to indicate that. Black Peppa's partner mentioned about the fact that she just pretended to be straight for so long and really, you know, would like wish to be straight. And you know, Black Peppa mentioned the fact that, you know, growing up in the Caribbean and stuff like that, you know, it's very religious. It very much was a case of you cannot be this, and you know, eventually, because she's very smart, Black Peppa was able to get like a scholarship over to like the UK, and she mentioned about the fact that when she was here, she actually managed to be herself. She was like, you know, I started dressing differently, walking differently. I felt more comfortable in myself. Someone asked me how I was gay, and I'd be like, yeah. And it's a tricky one because I'm sad that it took her having to move away from her family to get to that point. And you know, she's still said, you know, she's only recently gotten back in contact with her family because of, you know, this whole her being gay thing. And it's that disappointing thing that like still to this day 2022 we don't know if we come out, if we're going to be around people that accept us, if they're going to start treating us differently, you know. And then it comes to things like religion and culture and stuff like that, and all those sorts of things that in a lot of cultures and a lot of religions it's still not okay to be gay. And it's like, well, it's like anyone who is queer, if they had the option, like, because a lot of people say, oh, you know, being gay is a choice, and it's like most people that are, you know, LGBTQ, you know, plus, if they had the option, they would pick to be straight because it would be easier than it is to be a queer person. You know, you wouldn't have to worry about people treating you differently just because of who you are. You wouldn't have to worry that people are gonna like potentially like hit you or like kill you just because of the fact that you love someone that's of the same sex as you are. God, I can't speak. You know, there are so many things that, yeah, if we had the choice, we would probably just choose to be straight because it would be so much easier for us than the life we lead. But that's not the case. It's not a choice. This is just who we are as people. And I think some people tend to forget that because, yes, things are a lot better than they were, you know, so many years ago. But it's still nowhere near where it should be. You know, it should be at a point where no one has to come out. They just, like, a boy can just bring his boyfriend home and just be like, oh, this is my boyfriend. It's like, oh, fair enough. Nice to meet you. You know, but unfortunately, you know, culture and religion and just people being brought up by people that are homophobic, you know, that hate gets passed down through the generations. And until someone breaks that chain and it's like, oh, actually, no, this isn't how I should be feeling about this person. They're just a person and they're actually quite a nice person. It's the human race. Will it ever go away? Probably not, but we can hold out hope and, you know, all we can do is educate people, keep these conversations going, and hopefully one day we will get to a point where it's not an issue. But, I mean, considering racism still happens, I don't see it happening anytime soon. But, like I said, it's all about education, educating people, and just having those conversations is all we can do. I feel like we've gone really off track. I mean, it was still technically to do with the episode, right? It's fine. Episode-wise, the winner of this episode was Cheddar Gorgeous. I completely agree. I think Cheddar did a fantastic job. She was my favourite. Danny ended up safe, which was fine. Honestly, the look did make me think of something, like it was something from the Muppets. It was the colours with the facial hair and stuff like that. But yeah, safe, fine. Jonbers blonde was safe. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I really like Jonbers' looks. I loved the presentation on the stage. My only real gripe was her partner's eyebrows. And it's just because, like, they were so much further up than everything else. And they were, like, pencil thin. But that was my only gripe. Black Peppa ended up being safe. I thought she might be in the bottom. Just because of how plain it was. Like, the makeup and the mug with, like, the hair was beautiful. But then it was literally just, like, a black all the way down from the rest of it. And, like, they looked like there was details on, like, the black, like, dress. But because it was all black, it was hard to see. At the bottom two were Pixie Polite, which, yeah, I mean, didn't do the best. It's one of those things. Dakota was saying it perfectly in the Drag Race yearbook with Waishi. If you've not seen that, you can find it on YouTube. It's excellent. I watch every episode, and I'm always sad when it's not on, but you know, Waishi's a fantastic host. She is absolutely amazing. I would count myself lucky if I ever got on Drag Race and got to do a Drag Race yearbook episode with her, because she is just, she's so lovely. I feel like if she ever went on like Drag Race herself, she would be like the confessional queen. I think she'd be fantastic. Honestly, I really do. But Dakota was saying about the fact that Pixie has very I've forgotten the word she used now. Just like very big, like dramatic makeup, and she's saying about the fact that some people with their like faces and that, they don't really fit like big dramatic makeup. But the thing is, like, it's a family resemblance challenge. You kind of have to make them look like your drag family, and if that's the makeup you do, that's the makeup you're gonna have to do, really. But the other issues they said with the fact that like her Pixie's partner had like lumpy padding and stuff like that, and they needed more stockings over to kind of like hide it a bit more. So I do agree with Pixie being the bottom. It's a shame though, but it is what it is. The other bottom was Dakota Schiffer. Now, it's hard. Like Dakota said, and like I've seen other people say, you know, on the family resemblance challenge, it's about bringing someone into your drag family. Therefore, you're going to be putting them in your aesthetic and how, like, your sort of look. And you know, they mentioned on the judging panel the fact that they want Dakota to show us variety, something different from what she usually does. And it's like, well, yeah, the family resemblance challenge isn't necessarily the challenge to do that on. Um, so I don't know. I'm still not sure how I feel about Dakota being the bottom. I'm really sad that she's gone because her and Pixie ended up lip syncing, and unfortunately, I mean, is it unfortunate? I mean, at this point, I kind of don't want anyone to leave, so. I mean, it's always sad seeing girls leave. I always want to just watch them all get to the end and just see how they do throughout the season. So it's not unfortunate that Pixie won. It's just unfortunate that Dakota had to leave because Dakota was one of my ones that I really wanted to see right at the end. So yeah, it's really sad to see it go. But we love Dakota. Dakota's amazing. Dakota's going to be fine. I don't see her having any problems. I think she's loved by everyone. And yeah, like I said, if you haven't already, go watch the Drag Race Yearbook. Dakota's episode is out. Obviously, they've done all the previous queens that have been eliminated this season as well. Why she's a fantastic host. Absolutely amazing. Love her to pieces. Not that I've met her, just from like watching her on Drag Race Yearbook. She's just funny, really funny, so charismatic, just great to watch, honestly. This week's episode was really weird because RuPaul was there for the first bit, and then I think RuPaul was ill. It's never it's never said why RuPaul isn't there for like the main stage. But like from RuPaul's voice, it sounded like RuPaul maybe wasn't well. And in the Drag Race Yearbook, Dakota was like, oh, you know, they say he's like watching live, but you don't see him on like a screen with like a lem sip or something, or like lemon and honey. And it's like, okay, so that to me also says that maybe RuPaul was ill. But we had Michelle hosting for the first time, which was quite nice to see. The other thing I really liked, especially, I love the fact that it was this week, considering it was the Makeover challenge, because Raven got to sit on the judging panel. So Raven was the one that went in and talked to the queens while they were like with their partners and stuff. And Raven was on the judging panel as well. And honestly, I really like this. I would love them to just keep bringing Raven out for the makeover challenges or like anything that's like makeup related. I think it's perfect. You know, she's very good at what she does, clearly, considering she does RuPaul's face. But I mean, just look at Raven's face. You know that she's great at what she does. But yeah, they mentioned the fact that like RuPaul's watching via a video screen. They meant like when Michelle like gave each of the queens their critiques, she was like, I've not made my decision. I've got to talk to RuPaul. And then after the lip sync, she was like, RuPaul has made her decision. This is who's going. This is who's staying, and this is who's going home. Essentially, so it was a weird episode, but it was still kind of cool, and I loved seeing Raven on the judging panel. I would like to see them bring more queens onto the judging panel. I know like Espana's done it, Canada's done it. Like I think it would be perfect to bring someone like Jinx in for a comedy challenge, or like Bianca for a stand-up challenge. You know, I know obviously these queens are going to be hard to get because they've got their own things to do. But you know, if they could get them, I'm sure like everyone would love to see them. I personally would. I would love to see like Dayla come back for a comedy challenge and like sit on the judging panel. You know, she's great at what she does. So I don't know. Or even like a Rusical. She, you know, her and Jinx do like they have the holiday Christmas special, so I think it'd be perfect. Snatch Game, Jinx and Dayla would be great for that, considering they've both won both Snatch Games that they've done. Yeah, I think it would be a really smart idea. I don't know. Tell me down below, what do you think while you're down there? Tell me who you're rooting for. Also, while you're down there, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video, and I will see you lovely, lovely people next time. See ya!